I'm not proud of what I've become, but I feel compelled to share my story. Maybe, just maybe, someone somewhere will be saved from the same darkness that has consumed me. I'm a pastor, inheriting my father's church after years of loyal service to God and our community. My father was my rock, the foundation upon which my ministry was built. He instilled in me the values of faith, compassion, and leadership, and his guidance and support helped shape me into the pastor I am today. Though he may no longer be with me physically, his legacy lives on through the work I do for the Lord, and I am forever grateful for the impact he had on my life and ministry. My father was a strict man, and I remained a virgin until I took over the church. But my marriage, arranged by the church, was loveless and cold. My wife wasn't happy with me, and I couldn't blame her. Our intimacy was non-existent, and I felt like I was forcing myself upon her. The guilt and shame I felt only added to my unhappiness. Because of that, I began to look for reasons not to be home. If it wasn't a prayer meeting, it'd be a revival somewhere, just so I could be away and have some time alone. I'd use any excuse to escape the emptiness and loneliness that filled my heart. For years, I lived like that, and honestly, it got worse by the day. My desire to escape only intensified, and I found myself constantly seeking distractions from the emptiness within. And yet, despite my age, I remained a virgin, uninterested in the things that normally captivated men my age. But my life took a dramatic turn when I met a man of God at another revival. He was charismatic and confident, with an aura of authority that commanded attention. What struck me, however, was that he seemed to know me intimately, sensing the deepest struggles of my heart. He told me everything that was bothering me. Mind you, these were things I had never shared with anyone, not even my closest friends or family members. And yet, this stranger seemed to understand me better than I understood myself. Then I felt a strong connection to him, and we became friends. He'd sometimes visit my church, and I'd visit his. What I noticed was that he was incredibly likable. The women always surrounded him, and on top of that, he had a wife. I thought it was a favor from God upon him, a blessing for his ministry. I admired him, and I found myself drawn to his charisma and confidence. He had a way of making everyone feel seen and heard, and I wanted to learn from him. I wanted to be like him, to have the same level of influence and respect that he commanded. After some months of knowing each other, he invited me for a prayer session, saying that the prayer would enhance my ministry. Well, it made sense. He had 3 branches, so he knew what he was talking about. Couldn't say no. I wanted to make my ministry a success. I eagerly accepted the invite, and it was to be held in one of his churches. The day came, and I went to the prayer in his church. What was questionable was that the prayer was held during midnight, but I asked no questions, preferring not to hear any lies. Perhaps I was satisfied with the arrangement. When I got there, people were singing, and the cars were packed outside his church. When I walked inside, the church was empty, but the sounds were coming from his office. I went there, wondering what was happening. When I opened the door, I was shocked to see a group of people being intimate, as if it was an orgy. It was like I was under the control of something. I wanted to close the door and run, but something pulled me. I don't know, but I went straight to this woman who I think was in her 70s. From there, I don't know what happened. I couldn't see anymore, but everything happened, and it felt so good. The next thing I remember was getting home. That upcoming Sunday, the woman and the prophet visited my church, and from what I saw, each offered $666 during the offering. That night, the old woman gave instructions, saying I should go for it since the target was to sleep with 666 women, and different women. I didn't get what she meant, and the friend I thought I had kept his distance. The only thing he said was to follow the instructions. At first, I didn't get it, but what happened made me believe that I had joined the dark forces. If I didn't sleep with anyone for more than 7 days, my manhood would ache, and the pains would be everywhere. So I did what I was told. For years, I've been doing it. My ministry is big and successful, but what I'm doing to these ladies bothers me. I think the old lady gets her strength from this. I think sleeping with them takes their light and leaves them meaningless. I don't really know the role I'm playing, but I'm being used. My influence is big, my following is big, but this is not for Christ. My dad would be so ashamed of me. My wife is scared of me, and the congregation as well. I'm in too deep, and it seems like the only way out will be at the cost of my life. I'm tired of this life. So far, I've slept with 543 women, and I'm already tired. Also, I don't know what will happen if I reach that milestone. And the friend who brought me to this recently passed away.